Okay, so in this lesson we're gonna talk about UV map. Okay, so here inside the blackboard I already show some of the picture on how you should cut your UV or do the UV sim rather. Okay, so again this thick line, it's indicating where I can actually cut and then unfold the UV. Okay, so it goes through the crotch area and it goes through the back of the head, stuff like that, and eventually I'm able to unwrap my character UV to be like this. Okay, now going back to Maya. Okay, so this is my character. So the first thing that you want to do is that you probably want to turn on the symmetrical. So I'm going to go to my move tool and I'm going to turn on this to my object, so that way it's easier for me to select the edge loop in which I can cut the UV. Okay, now that everything is turned on, I want to go to my UV editor, right? And I'm going to just project the mesh from the z-axis. Okay, so I go to my UV and I go to my pattern mapping and I go to my z-axis. Okay, again you're gonna have this UV on your UV editor. And then I'm gonna make the necessary cut to the object. Okay, so again, having the symmetrical on, I'm going to double click it. So if we do the loop correctly, this should goes around perfectly. Okay, again go to my modeling tool and I'm going to cut UV. Okay, so if you cannot find this, you can go to UV and then cut UV edge, right? So it does the same thing. Okay, so again, once I cut, I can go back to my UV mode and I can just grab, right click UV, okay, then go to the shell and I can move this. Okay, and again, I'm not going to show like the whole process because it may take time, but I'm just going to show the overall or the general idea on how I actually unwrap and make these UV shape. Again, you need to cut right all the way to the front. Okay, and then you need to separate the inner mouth. Okay, because otherwise you will not be able to unwrap these properly. So if you notice, I placed the inner mouth right there. Okay, so I'm just going to do a very rough job, right? Just for demo purposes. So I'm going to rotate around, make sure everything is properly selected, and cut the UV. And again, I'm going to move these around. Okay, so that's my inner mouth. Again, you can use the unfold. So shift right click and unfold, and go to unfold, and it'll give me this result. So okay, so it's pretty bad, but you have to do some cutting if that happened to you. Okay, so maybe just leave this for now. So we're gonna go to my head, alright, and again, like the tunnel around the ear, around the eye, also need to be cut. So that way, need to be separated, cut and separated. So that way, like you're gonna have a nice like flattened UV map. Okay, so again, cut there. So look at for the ear tunnel, rotate it around. Pretty hard to. Okay, so this region. Well, I think it goes around. Probably not. So I have to do like. Have to zoom in quite close. Okay, there you go, and then like make sure this is selected. Maybe I should go here rather. Yep, and then I can just cut. Okay, then everything is being separated. then I can try to kind of like flatten this. Okay. Okay, so you get the UV map just like on a blackboard. And again, for the head region, I usually make this slightly bigger because you need to have like more detail, especially around the character's face. Okay, so the UV map of this region should be slightly bigger than his other neighboring. Okay, so it's okay if the textile density doesn't really match with the neighboring UV map. Okay, because you do want to make the character face to be detailed and stuff. Okay, now going back to the body, so I'm gonna press okay, so going back here to the body, I'm going to go back to editor. I'm gonna show the texture. Alright, so it's easy for me to see what's going on. Okay, let me turn off this. Okay, now this indicating that there is a seam there. Okay, so I'm finished with the head, and I'm gonna move on to the body. Again, I'm gonna cut the hand. Alright, select this UV map, or the edge loop rather, and then I'm gonna cut there, and also the foot. Maybe one. Okay, and I'm gonna cut. So you're left with only the main body. Okay, select shell. Okay. Oh, so this one's still not cut. So select this and this, then cut. Okay, then you go to UV, then go to shell, then you move. Okay, now probably the body is one of the complex one to UV, but if you do properly, and everything should be okay. Again, so you try to hide where the seams are. So generally, I would put the seam at the back of your characters. Okay, so I'm gonna select all these, goes around to the crotch area, right? Probably somewhere here. Maybe one more, right? And I'm going to cut. Okay, so that's my first UV seam. And again, you need to select this one, alright? So the edge that is inside of the character's thigh, and then I'm going to cut. Okay, because if you don't have this enough cut, then later when you try to unfold, Maya will just like break. Okay, let's do what happened. So in this case, I don't have enough cut, and if you try to unfold your UV map, okay, it's laggy. Select the whole shell. Okay, still lagging. Shell, and you try to unfold, and this is what happened to you. Okay, so things breaking, and it doesn't match with the reference that I have here. Okay, so this is, you can tell this is the arms area, this is the front portion, this is the back, this is the leg, the foot, the hand, and so on. Okay, so again, one of the important things when you do UV is that you need to make sure the UV map is understandable, because there might be some other people that do the texturing work for you when you work in a bigger company. Okay, so if you do bad UV, everything's all over the place. Like if you do automatic, right, then like it's very hard for the other people to kind of like read the UV map. Okay, so again, I never use the automatic, I always do manual, because might be some people like do your texturing job for your character. Okay, now the next one, I'm gonna make another cut from here, maybe from here all the way there. Okay, so then the back side of your character can be unfolded properly. Maybe one more. Alright, maybe I need to select one more. Right, so I'm really trying to hide where the seams are. Okay, maybe all the way here. Right there. Okay, and then I can try to cut. Right. Then by looking at this, it should be okay, and try to unfold. Okay, and still lagging. Okay, shift right click, unfold, unfold. Okay, so you have roughly the shape like what is in the references. Again, to make things better, I'll leave this up to you to kind of like fix it. Make sure like there is no overlapping UV. Like for example, if you have this like that, you need to be very careful, especially around the tight region. Right, around this like region, maybe if there's any like overlapping, right, you need to be like yeah, check entirely. Okay, again, the biggest chunk is already being completed, so things like the foot and the hand is actually like pretty easy to do. Okay, so this one can be flattened as one UV map using pattern mapping from the y-axis, and this one can be actually split. Okay, so probably something like this. Okay, it depends on the shape of your foot. Maybe something like that may be good. Right, like this. Okay, now I'm going to move on to the hand, which is being brought in the previous slide before. Now, what I want to show, right, is that when you try to cut UV or the edge loop rather for hand, don't do like this, right? So this is so for example, from here you go like that. Okay, so that is the wrong way to do, because again, all these region, right, are supposed to have the same texture, skin texture. Okay, so these are supposed to be the back of your palm, right? So if you do separately, then later when it comes to texturing, you might find these hard to do. Okay, so all these are supposed to be one skin texture in one whole region. Okay, and this one are supposed to be the bottom pieces or the palm itself. Alright, so it's two separate region with two separate skin texture. Okay, so again, because I do this hand modeling correctly with the proper edge loop, I can easily double click this edge and it goes around. Right, so this line separates between the upper region of the hand and the lower region of the hand. Okay, so this is a very important line that you have to do. Okay, so if your line are going like that, is cutting through the thumb, then you better check again, okay, your topology, because again, if you cut here, it's incorrect. Okay, these are supposed to be in the same region. Okay, so let's do it. So the way I do the hand, I'll just double click it here, and it goes around. Right, do it like this. Okay, so I'm going to deselect all these. Alright, and I'm going to select that. Okay. Again, you can still do a better job with this. You can try to fix all these vertex, right? And if you really want, you can also try to match this and that. But again, for me, this is maybe enough for me. Okay, and cut. Okay, look at the hand. Then you can select all these. Then move it, and you can project. So you can do the top one, then the bottom one. Okay.